Yeah, so it's over the weekend. I was watching something very very interesting. It had to do with this social scientist that was given one of the reasons why we go to war as a human species, and he said one of the main reason is because of sex, because of yeah, pretty much because of sex, and he kind of like gave some examples using biblical references. Um, I think one of the characters in the Bible, can't remember his name. I think it's Saul, but then he was ordered to go to another land, um, pillage,
He was ordered
destroy,
by
kill the
God to
men,
go and destroy and kill some people
kill the men, and
by
then
God.
yeah, well, yeah, by God, and then bring
Uh,
and
our
then
our
have
Old
the woman,
Testament God that is blood tests.
yeah,
That's blood
same
testing.
bloodthirsty, and then bring him home, bring the woman home,
Yeah.
which was quite interesting. Yeah, I know the when we look into the Old Testament, there's a lot of misconception in the Old Testament because you have a God that is like, okay, go to this place and then destroy those places,
Mm-hmm.
and everything kind of like to solve certain problems, death was necessary.
Mm.
Yeah, which is crazy because you're like, okay, that's genocide. You
Mm.
go to someone's land and then
You
kill
know,
all the men.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I strongly believe that the Bible is what did I call it again? It's a metaphorical work.
Mm,
Like because to actually get rid of something, even in real life, you have
yeah,
to cause the death of another thing. You know,
yeah, pretty
you have to
much.
cause the death of another thing to you have to kill your ego. You know,
Hmm.
the death. That's why people that take mushroom, they tell you that yeah, it's death of ego. You
Hmm.
understand? You have to kill your ego to be able to achieve what I would call like an El Dorado kind of mindset about what's going on
Yeah.
around you, where things that are ephemeral will appear as so to you, so that
Mm,
it doesn't bother you as much anymore because you've killed
mm,
the egocentric perspective that you are using to look at everything around you. Because
yeah.
then you used to think that everything is all about you, but if you don't have that ego anymore, you find out that all things are not all about you. You're not that important. You're just a minuscule
Hmm.
in the grand scheme of things, you know.
Yeah.
So it does make sense if you look at it that way, because then, other than that, then we have a character that is a Christian God.
Yeah.
I'm using "our" because I'm also a Christian in a way. Also,
Yeah.
even though sometimes I wake up, I'm like, "What the f is going on? Am I really a Christian?" But
Yeah.
I've got a Christian background, so
Yeah.
our Christian God that is
Yeah.
just killing and pillaging,
Yeah.
and unforgiving, and it seems as if the only forgiveness we got from anything was him sending his only beloved son, Jesus Christ,
Hmm.
to come and die for us. And through Jesus Christ, we're able to get salvation, and through Jesus Christ, we're able to get forgiveness.
Yeah.
And then you look at the something like the story of David.
Hmm.
David, the man after God's own heart,
Yeah.
right? Killed someone, killed someone's husband
Yes.
because of lust, because
Yeah.
of his lustful exuberance,
Hmm.
towards the person,
Yeah.
and then killed, masterminded the
Yeah.
death of him,
Yeah.
and then he's still the person after God's own heart,
Yes.
you know. But then God did not forgive him. No, God forgave him, but he
Yes.
still punished him.
Yeah.
You
He paid. He
understand?
paid. He
He,
paid the price
yeah,
with the son.
he paid the price with his son.
Yeah.
You know, so um, it's funny. But then you read that story, and then you look at some of the things that are happening in life, and some of the people that are in political positions, and how they are abusing their power and doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that story, particularly
What? Which one? The David and
the
Goliath
David,
one?
yeah, the whole David God
No, no,
thing,
not David and Goliath. David and God.
yeah,
Yeah.
David and God thing.
Yeah.
It's such a good story to make you to feel like, yes, our leader is bad. Our leader is bad, but
we
it's
can
God.
forgive him.
God chooses God puts him there.
Yeah.
God will give him his punishment that he's going to serve in the
Yeah.
future, and then you would never decry anything or deride anything that like you would internally, but you wouldn't be outspoken. Which is why some people argue that the Bible is used as a tool to keep people subservient, because
Yeah.
then you wouldn't be able to talk
think-
about some
I
of these
think-
things. Because if you really believe in the Bible,
Yeah.
when things happen around you caused by your leaders, you
Yeah.
will remember the story of David as an example. You remember other stories, by the way,
Yes.
if you really have read the Bible.
Yeah.
Because you remember so many stories, but I just remember this one, and I'm likening it to,
That recompense actually belongs to God, or
Yeah.
the vengeance is God.
vengeance is mine.
So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
you would leave the vengeance aspect. You will not retaliate.
You will not
because
retaliate.
You would leave the
You will
vengeance
not
aspect to
do-
God.
Yeah, you will not do anything
Because it's been established
at the-
by God.
Yeah, established by God. Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, God still. Are you showing me something on my face?
No.
I was looking at this guy.
My mouth is stitches up.
I thought you were trying to tell me to remove something from my face. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, God actually still, I've forgiven you, punished him. He
Yeah.
went through the whole Psalm period. Psalm is a very powerful prayer, by the way. So he went throughout that period.
Yeah.
So it makes you to think, maybe you don't do
think
anything.
that's a very
You look at
interesting-
Putin. You look at George Bush, the
Yeah.
Bush family, and what they did. You look at the leaders of the Western civilization today that
Yeah.
have plunged everybody to some sort of subservience through inflation because of the fact that they are funding their wars and using it to print. Well, like when there is no war that they're going to use to print money, they will create something else that will happen. Maybe COVID that will happen, and they will say, okay, right now because of that, we need to give you extra money because we believe that we are helping you. Or else, what they are doing is actually eroding the value of what you've been creating,
making the situation worse.
Yeah, and it's
And
only
then
people that
you're stuck back into a vicious circle.
Yeah,
because
isn't-
now the value of their currency is down.
Yeah.
They are forced to go and find value elsewhere,
Yeah.
and then create another war, create another problem. So
Rinse
it's
and
crazy.
repeat.
It's crazy because it's interesting that you spoke about David. It's a very interesting narrative, and I think that narrative is partly true, obviously, because people are subject to their interpretation of the Bible and how they read it, right? So when you look at David's story, I think it goes beyond that. Basically, the reason why he was even forgiven and after God's heart is because he was able to change his mindset. So everything has to do with the mind, right? He was able to repent, which is basically do a U-turn in your mind, in your thinking, and so that's one aspect of it, because they likened two people, right? Saul and David. Saul went into battle. He was told to destroy everything, but yet he kept the
was
woman.
headstrong.
Yeah, he was headstrong, kept the woman. He didn't even wait for Samuel, which he was supposed to do, which is a prophet. He didn't do that, so they likened these two because they both did evil in God's eyes, in a way. You killed a man for, after you have, imagine David had his concubines, many wives, and this one man's wife that he treasured, you send him to a battlefield, and then you send him to the war front just so that he can get killed, so he can have access to the wife. So that's one thing. Saul did obviously he just didn't listen. It was disobedience. But both of them obviously were equally guilty. But what was the difference? Like you said, Saul was headstrong. David had a repentant heart that said, okay, I actually fucked up. I messed up. I shouldn't have done this. And that was just the difference between, that's the whole narrative of the story there, where the fact that he could change his mind. However,
I don't think that's the whole narrative of the story. That's
That's
part
my
of
narrate-
that's
that's
part of
part
the
of the
story,
narrative.
by the way.
part of the narrative.
It's part of this story, part of the
But,
narrative. Yeah, but
ultimately, we are the kingmakers. You have
in a
apart from-
democratic world.
In a democratic world,
I remember
we are the
then it
kingmakers.
wasn't about you being the kingmaker. It's about God told you that you're going to be the king, and then you're going to
But
be
then,
the king.
even then, when you look at the story, God never wanted to make man king over his people. It was the people that said, we want a king. We want someone to rule over us.
Yeah, yeah.
So we
but,
are the ultimate kingmakers.
but then again, that's the biblical story. Because again, remember that we have some people that wouldn't look at it from a biblical God acting things. Some people look at this story as something written by men for some sort of propaganda.
Yeah.
And if you come from there, people asking a person to be their leader is synonymous to people now complaining that we are now in anarchy. Please, the government should do something. The government should do. Boris Johnson, what are you doing? What is the government Is it not deceptive? Is it deceptive?
Yeah,
It's
we
deceptive.
need, we need,
But,
you need a
but
leader.
again, like I said, as if you look at it from group of people coming down, conniving in cahoots in the confines of their coven, deciding to actually write this particular story, to use it as a propaganda, do all of those things.
Yeah.
But that's when you look at that narrative, because it's so synonymous.
I'm looking at it because obviously, I always look at, okay, cool. I think even yesterday I was watching a video. It was this man that was talking about Christianity and the narrative that has been painted to many Africans that Christianity was brought in by the white man or by the West, to kind of like subjugate us or to reduce us to become more submissive to their rule over us, And then they were saying, well, technically speaking, Christianity has been in Africa like thousands of years before even the British came as colonials. It's been there since, when you look at Ethiopia, for example, that we're talking about 2,000 years pretty much. So the Christian church, even in Ethiopia, has been there a very, very long time. So Christianity has actually been in Africa for a while. But then we also kind of like understand another concept. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's spread to our part of Africa, which is West Africa, Congo, and all that kind of things. I don't really know much about that. But I just know that it has already touched the border of Africa before the West came in to colonize.
So I've got two things to say. So one, I just remembered what you said about David having a repentant heart, and that's the difference. I just feel like it's imperative that I ask you this question.
Go for it.
So imagine if you have your son now, and your son is Mackenzie Jr. Mackenzie Jr. And then someone does exactly what David did, kill you. Would you expect your Mackenzie Jr. to avenge for you? Would you forgive? Would you, if the person you'll be dead, by the way, remember?
I'll be dead.
So you're in the spirit world.
I'm in the spirit world.
You're in the spirit world. Or if there is nothingness out there, you probably don't, you are non-existent. It doesn't matter anymore. You are dead. Dead men don't talk. So that's finality. Death is finality. You understand? But assuming there is a part of you that is still existing, but maybe you can't act, but can advise.
Yes.
So, and your son is being lackadaisical. Lackadaisical means careless, but being more of having an I don't care attitude towards what happened to you.
Yeah.
Say it was someone that you know. Say the MP of Bedford woke up one day and saw your wife and licked his lips. I said that he must possess your wife. That he's going to breed your wife. You understand? And then breed your wife. And then maybe put some allegations against you. Cook up some stuff against you using his political powers. And then you ended up being in jail, and then because you are going to say, because I was there defending you, and then they know I'm going to keep defending you if you're still alive, and then they killed you in jail. And then Mackenzie Jr., that you had before the politician breeded your wife, obviously. Mackenzie Jr. is there. Would you want Mackenzie Jr. to avenge your death? Or did you think that person should be punished? Do you think by the fact that he remember the MP of Bedford, I think right now it's probably from India, originally from India, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I need to find out. I don't even know my MP. That's funny.
I think it's Indian or Pakistani.
Yeah,
but
Pakistani. But
He's
he's Southeast Asian guy originally, because he's British. So So imagine if he has he has denounced his religion. He's now a Christian. In fact, he's doing evangelical works all over Bedford, building churches. He has, he put on the sackcloth and used ashes to, that's Old Testament reference, and use ashes to wash himself, because that's what David did after fucking someone's wife and then killing the person. And then he said, "Yeah, I've repented." When you were enjoying, you didn't know that you're going to repent. When he was on top moaning, grunting, he didn't know. And when he was strategizing on how to kill someone's husband, he didn't know. So would you advise Mackenzie Jr. to actually that's one to actually
so let me answer that before I forget about, and then you can ask me the second question.
I don't want to forget the second question.
Write it down.
Okay, no, go on. I won't forget it.
So, okay, one, I've played scenarios like that in my head many times. Not necessarily, someone playing with my wife. No, not necessarily that. But more or less, like, let's say, for example, someone that's dear to my heart, my kids. Somebody killed my daughter. God forbid. Let's say, for example, it happened. That's the extreme to me. I feel like my wife, yeah, it's okay, it's all, but your kid is a whole new different level. Would you be able to forgive that person? You know what I mean?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just asking.
Because I wouldn't. I'm cutting off their dick.
Yeah. So let's say, for example,
in a glass bottle.
It's the hardest thing. I've been asking myself that question so many times. Will I be able to forgive that person? Will I be able to? Because I've seen so many scenarios where people have killed other people's kids, and you see their father going to hug the murderer, forgiving that person, or the mother hugging a person, and even calling the person, "Since you've taken my son away from me, you are now my son." I've seen that so many times, and
guess one thing that those people have in common: the people that do this,
they're believers.
They're religious.
Yeah. They're believers. So so I ask myself,
people that are non-religious don't do that shit, and people that are non-religious are the ones that actually rule the world, and the ones that make the rules.
Exactly.
So just so you know.
Exactly. I've asked myself so many times, okay, will I be able to forgive? Because ultimately, that's what it is. That's what you're asking me. Will I be able to forgive my MP plowing my wife? Yeah,
breeding
thinking
my own
about that, I'm
friend.
already getting pissed off. So I've never been in that scenario. I would like to say that, okay, I would forgive, but the honest truth is I've never been in that scenario, and most likely I don't think so.
You don't think you will forgive?
I don't think so. I don't think I might have the capabilities of forgiving, even though if you ask me what I would rather do, I'd rather forgive. That's the ultimate way of moving on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be, I'm gonna lie to myself. Like maybe if I don't know what I know today, I will forgive.
Yeah.
I'm not forgiving that shit.
Yeah.
Like, no. I will tell you, okay, no problem. Like, I'm gonna hug you and tell you that you are my son and then stab you. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then I'll go and make another son.
Because to me, the ultimate difference is that let's say, for example, would we say that people? So do you live like in an eye to eye kind of a mindset where?
No. There's some things that are finality. Death is finality.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying.
If you stole my money, I can do throw down that cheek.
Yeah.
Because I go and make more money.
Yeah.
You understand?
So
if you deprive me of a contract, I'll be angry, go and make another contract, get more connections.
The reason why I'm asking this question is because there's a very interesting, because when we look at the Bible in the mythical way, or more of a moral storytelling way, right? You have Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel. And then
out of jealousy.
And then God said to Cain, okay, right now you need to leave. You leave, and I'm going to put a mark on you. And the mark would be that nobody can kill you and everything. You're going to live in, so many kind of like curses. You're not going to be happy, basically, in a nutshell. But then he puts a mark on him, and then he says, anyone that kills you, right, will be times 7. Now, when I analyze that scripture,
that's because you believe that, right?
I believe that. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's
because you believe that.
That's what I said. Okay, let's look at it from a moral point of view rather than a religious and a belief point of view. What was God trying to establish there?
Again, remember, this is a book. this is a book that is
I'm going somewhere with this, by the way.
yeah, because no matter how much how long you look at it, or how like from whatever different ways you look at it here, yet it's moral because of what we've been told to be the conception of morality.
But why?
You
So
know, we've been told that this is the way morality should be. Who defines those things?
This is the reason why.
Who defines those things? And then
There's a reason why I'm saying this.
is the same world? Hold on, is the same? We are living in a world where someone like Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
I would rather that I have the Churchill name today, like because we open a lot of doors for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be living better.
Yeah.
But he killed
at the cost of morality.
At the cost of morality.
Yeah.
What is morality? That's my point.
Yeah.
What is morality? Morality is what has been handed down through religious writings for us to believe that this is what morality should look like. What is morality? What is even that word morality? Where did it come from?
Let me finish the story and then we can tackle that. So, so the moral of that story is this, right? Or the moral that I perceived from that story is this: is that revenge, right? The first thing in man's nature is to avenge himself. Avenge. Okay, you've killed my brother. Yeah, I want to avenge you. You know, and that's how some wars will start. The only way he could circumvent that to happen is to saying that, okay, I'm going to put a mark on you. I'm going to punish you. We'll go back to what you were saying about we kind of like live. We believe that God established certain leaders and He will be the one to avenge us. We'll go back to that. But to this one, he says to him, okay, you go. I'll put a curse on you. You're not going to have fun. You're not going to live well. You're not going to do whatever. But you're going to be a wanderer. You're going to walk all over the place. And you're not going to be settled, basically. And then he says, anyone that kills you, that curse will be on him times 7, right? So kind of like discouraging people from killing you because nobody wants to kind of inherit that kind of a curse. Do you get what I'm trying to say? To me, all it says is don't revenge, because when you revenge, there is no stopping. And we have this right now, in our modern day right now, right? If our system that we believe in and that...
this is very...
Let me just finish. So we have this in our modern day where, let's say, for example, a gang-on-gang violence, one person has killed one person, and therefore the other gang feel the need to avenge their brethren, so they will retaliate. And it keeps on going forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it is, okay, cool. Even if you're looking at it from a moral point of view, right, it shows that there are consequences to actions. Because when we're looking at morality, we are looking at consequences to action. Why do I do certain things and why don't I do certain things? Why should I do certain things and why shouldn't I do certain things?
You said consequences to action. Okay, go on. Have you finished?
Do you understand what I say? So
yeah,
that's that. But then fire away.
So you ended it by saying something about consequences to action. What is the consequences to the action of the person that killed the person? They must have to pay. There must be some consequences. You understand? And then life is finite. You understand? Death is the
finite
finality.
To your understanding.
Life is finite. No, look. We live in a world. We live in this present world.
Yes.
You know, we've heard stories of people saying that they died and saw heaven and all of that.
Yeah.
Like,
but we don't have facts.
We don't have facts.
Yeah.
You know, so we are looking at things from the factual perspective. Life is finite.
Yeah.
If you die today, if you go out now, even full of life, for whatever reasons, you get knocked down by a drunk driver, and they end up not reviving you. That is it. Mackenzie, Anang,
you cease to be in this plane of realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are no more. But then people are going to do burial. I'm going to probably, cry, eat jollof rice, and then within 1 year, 2 years, you just be like, Mackenzie, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You've been replaced.
Yeah.
You understand? So there should be consequences for stuff. And the consequences should not be when it pertains to life. Like there should be. I think the problem is that people sat down at Nicaea, and then wrote combined and coupled up the version of the Bible that we read today. That's where the Nicaea Creed came from. Yeah, and then I'm looking at from even the leaders as of that period. You know, from the King James and the going down to King James, and then the even the Catholic Church. You know, what were these people doing? What were they doing? Were they actually? They were. It's hypocrisy,
Absolutely.
and the hypocrisy has been brought has continuously been practiced up till today. It is still ongoing. The Vatican City, you know, the Vatican, which is a country, you know, with everything that the Catholic Church has done, the Vatican City, you know, the
Still a holy
Vatican
land.
is the only land of the Catholics.
Yeah.
You know, it has so much money, has so much wealth. He's investing in a lot of things. He's investing even in arms companies, the companies that actually manufacture guns that is used in wars. You know, some of these families and some of these things linked up to people that are in government, people that are controlling the the world. And then you go to, I gave an instance. So I talked about Churchill. The reason why I brought Churchill up is that Churchill is revered, you know, here in the UK. He's seen as a hero, but we know that he did some stuff. I know he's not. I know, you know, obviously we believe that nobody is perfect. But my point is that because life is finite, because, you know, death is finality, you know, is the end. I don't think anything that causes another person to die should be just be forgiven and written off. You understand? And then the story coming out from the Bible, and then knowing what I know, what I think, the little that I know about the Bible, it's funny that the Bible always espouses, you know, this kind of turn a blind eye to, you know, turn the other cheek kind of stuff. Only God
From New Testament, by the way.
only God that
New Testament,
only
by the
God
way.
that had that had the ultimate power.
Yeah.
You understand?
Of life and death.
Of life and death.
Yeah.
You know, no human can actually exercise control over another person that actually pillaged or took anything that belongs to him. Like, you can do that, but God will say, "Oh, but you didn't consult me. You didn't do this." You know, all of those
Not
things.
necessarily, you know. Not necessarily, but go on.
So it's funny that that's actually the practice. And then now going back to my second question, you know, about what was when you said that, you know, something like this has been existing in Africa, that the people that are saying that this is brought in by white people to use in control us, that is wrong. I think that person doesn't know what they're talking about, because it's like saying oil has been in Nigeria for like years, but is oil being now used to control Nigerians?
By
The
the
answer
way,
is yes.
He didn't say it was wrong. But go on.
Okay. So you didn't say it was wrong. So, but for anybody that would say it's wrong, that they don't know what they are talking about.
Yeah.
The Bible, not just the Bible, religion. I always not just talk about the Bible. I'm talking about religion. Religion itself has actually been used, and it has because I think anybody can see. If you come into a particular society, you look at how they do, and you try to, okay, if I'm trying to take advantage of these people, what are the things? Like, if you want to take advantage of, you know, British people, I think you do know how to do that, because, you know, they like dogs, for example. You know, so create things that will make them to doing for dogs, and they will forget about every other thing that you are doing.
Kill someone and then go and rescue 10 dogs.
I'm telling you, and make sure that it's a black guy that you killed. By the way, you know, if you are black, you know, make sure that it's a black guy that you killed, or someone that is not white, and they rescue 10 dogs immediately. You know, like,
he killed a man, but he rescued 10 dogs.
He rescued 10 dogs. So those are the things that you use in manipulation. So it's very easy to go to a particular set of people, i.e., our people in West Africa. I'm putting it under that umbrella, and then look at the fact that we are very super religious. We have religious practices that has nothing to do with Christianity, obviously, with our traditional gods. You understand? And then we're like, okay, can we replace that with this? You understand? And then tell them that's what we do to actually get to where we are, and then immediately demonizing whatever. I'm not saying the other traditional practices were okay. By the way, just like all sorts of, even the Islam, some part of Islam is not okay. You know, just like some part of Christianity, if you read about when they were Knight Templars were going to war and killing people, pillaging for the Catholic Church, those things were not okay too. You know, but it's happened. I'm not saying that all our traditional practices were okay. There are some of our traditional, like killing of twins. Though it was good that, you know, it's now stopped.
Abolished.
It was abolished. So But when you look at that, it shows you that religion has always been used as a tool to actually manipulate people. And then you look at who are the people that actually control what's happening on earth. How religious are they? They don't have any morals.
They don't.
So they don't have any morals.
Yeah.
And if you actually want to make it, why are you keeping? I mean, you could decide because obviously you have your personal relationship with God and all of those things. Fantastic. You know, I'm not going to dispute your relationship with God, you know. But then when you look at these people, they just present facades and Svengali that we use in manipulating people.
I wanna ask you a question.
And that's how this world has been going. And you can say, oh, it's going to change. You know, Jesus Christ. But it's been going like that. Our generation is going to pass, and you continue like that.
It will be foolish. It will be foolish to think that this will change. It's not going to change today. It's not going to change tomorrow.
Even people that tell you that they got a call from God to start a church. 90% of them today did not get a call from God. What they knew is that people are gullible when it comes to religion. You know, people lose their logic. You know, their logical mindset when it comes to religion. And then they will be like, okay, since I have the charisma to talk, if I have the charisma,
God, I know what you're talking about. If they will say, okay, God told me you should do this, and people are willing to do whatever. You know, people tell them.
And predominantly people that have the same skin color as me. I'm not saying that white people don't do that, because obviously you go to the US, you see like proper white, like staunch Christians. Like I watched a video about this pastor that is saying that God told him that, you know, it's time for the church to raise money for him to buy his private jet. If you've seen that.
Jesse, I don't know.
I can't remember. To buy his new private jet. Like private jet, like, you know, the other private jet is not. I'm like, what the flip? And people are donating money to this. And people are going to donate more money to this.
It has happened. It goes, look, to me, it's the same thing that we have with Bitcoin, right? People will come and say, Bitcoin, so many people demonize Bitcoin and say Bitcoin is being used by criminal and all, you know, etc., terrorists, and, you know, they put them under that umbrella. And then some people would also come and say, okay, actually, Bitcoin has provided freedom of transaction globally. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So people will always have their perspective of how a tool is being used, whether it's for the good or whether it's for the bad. But it's a tool. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So to me, like with everything that you're saying, obviously with someone coming into your mainland and then using spiritualism, because obviously spiritualism is something that is innate in us. It's not, before Christianity came even into Africa, we were already spiritual people. Do you know what I mean? When you look at Danish people, Denmark and etc., you know, all these people, they were believing in Valhalla, which is, you know, Odin, Thor, you know. So religion is not something that it's being part of us. To have a belief system, believing in a higher power, is something that has been part.
You know why I think that is? I think that is because there are some unanswered questions, like things that you can't comprehend. If you don't have an answer to that, you have to believe that there's a power. There's another power higher than your power that probably manifested that. And science has been going on to break a lot of those things. You know, but go on.
So that's how I look at it. There's nobody in this world that can actually prove to themselves that they are full atheists, because they always have a belief system. It might not necessarily be in a religious God, you know, but it would be that, for example, someone might say that this pen, everywhere I carry this pen with me and I sign using this pen, whatever I sign will be successful. You know, people have this small belief, because within this is my opinion, by the way, but I believe that within mankind, in general, we have a need to believe in something. We have a need to believe in something, something that would always be higher up, something that we cannot comprehend, something that we cannot understand, because nobody can actually understand what life is all about, how life is generated. Up to now, science can't even Science cannot give you those facts, how life is generated. Nobody can put limits to your imaginations. Nobody can put limits to what the mind can do. So these are some of the
Somebody
things.
can put limit to your imagination by reprogramming how you see things, and then that will limit what you can imagine.
No, but what I mean is
But it's already happening.
nobody can measure the how deep your mind can go, how deep your thinking can go, where thoughts come from, and all that kind of thing. They can give you an idea. Do you know what I mean? And this is what science has been doing so well, giving us an idea of how our world works together. But ultimately, belief system is something that's has been with us for such a long time. You know, it's it's like you can't fathom it. Like, I'm a Christian, okay. I'm not just a closed-minded Christian. I'm very, very aware of some of the things that are happening around me, like what you're talking about. People using Christianity as a tool. When you go to Africa, they have a saying, especially here in the West, they have a saying that the reason why Africans believe God so much is because of the lack they are in. So because of the lack they are in, they feel like they need a super intervention, a super intervention to kind of like save them from the lack they're in. And hence why people go to church. People are willing to give their last money, believing that when they give their last money, it will open doors to have more money. And so people have also gotten up, and said, okay, actually I can start a business from this. I can actually go to people. I can go to a village, and whatever I demand for, as long as I say in the name of Jesus or in the name of God, right? They are going to obey, because who is there to validate whether the person actually heard from the Holy Spirit, heard from God? Who is there to validate? How can you validate it? You can't. You just have to believe. So I'm very, very aware. I'm also very aware of the West going into Africa, and when they came, they also brought the Bibles, and people said that we made an exchange. We gave them our wealth for
And
the
they give us
Bible, and they gave us the Bible.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very aware of it. But then, what I'm also very, but I'm also curious about. Okay, was there Christianity before the West? These are some of the things that I need to look at and kind of like validate my belief system. When we look at the Bible, yes, the Bible that we currently have, yes, it's written by you have the King James version and all of that. They said all path leads back to Rome, right? But okay, is there another version of a Bible, for example, the Ethiopian Bible that they have that maybe I need to actually read? I was speaking to one of our close friends, Inamdi, and he has a book called the Apocrypha, which is not originally, which is apparently been taken away from the Bible that we have. So it's all about, okay, finding out what is true and what is not. What makes me a Christian? I'll tell you this here right now. What makes me a Christian is the fact that, okay, historically, there's been a man named Jesus. They have a history. Apparently, even the Vatican, they probably own the crown, the crown of thorns, right? So it's not just them, but it's also three other religions, professing about Jesus.
Did Jesus rise from death?
Did Jesus rise from dead?
As a fact.
As a
not
fact.
not Bible, as a scientific fact, like as a fact of something that actually happened. Like
they can't tell.
Okay.
They can't tell. So they can't approve, neither can they disprove that, he died and then rose back.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that myself too.
But then the way I look at it,
I'm not seeing the fact on the.
Yeah. So the way I look at it from this perspective. Okay, has this man ever lived, and has it historically been recorded that a man called Jesus or Yeshua, has ever lived? Okay, if he has, one take. Okay, what are others? Because I wasn't there. Were you there 2,000 years ago? No. We are only going by the information that's been presented to us. The information that we have now. So, okay, who do people say that Jesus Christ is? Okay, Islam will say Jesus Christ was born by Miriam. His name is Isa in the Quran. And please, if I'm saying something that is wrong, please forgive me. If you're Muslim, you're listening to this. This is just by what I know. So his name is Isa, born by Miriam. And then when he was a baby, because obviously Miriam wasn't married to a man, right? It was against the culture. It was against the norm. So usually women like that would be stoned to death. So Jesus or Isa spoke and said, no, it's Allah doing, it's God's doing, that I'm here. It was done by God.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
So do you get what I'm trying to
I
say?
know
So
the whole Immaculate Conception thing.
yeah, exactly. So then it's like, okay, this is a confirmation to me, because Islam
Again,
is
that
only,
one is not certain of whether it was a fact too,
but it's not certain that it was a fact. But
because
what
we
I'm
are
trying to
talking about
say, that's what I'm
Immaculate
saying.
Conception here.
That's what I'm saying, that these are people's.
Because if Jesus Christ was born but not through Immaculate Conception,
Yeah.
then yeah, there could have been someone called Yeshua, just like there could have been someone called, I don't know,
Yeah,
Pablo.
but apart from that, it's also the things that he did. So I'm
Did he
looking at the
turn water
Quran.
into wine?
He did turn water into wine,
Again,
but
not
it's-
fact.
when Islam came, I think 1,000 years after Christianity. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So within 1,000 years, civilization has actually advanced, in my perception. Do you know what I mean? For 1,000 years, and then for them to come back and say, okay, there was a man named Jesus Christ. There was these are some of the miracles that he did, aka formed the bird in.
Because let me go a little bit.
We won't have the truth.
Let me.
There's no such thing. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to derive at, is that I don't think there's anything called ultimate truth, right? Because these will always come from a group of people. This will always come from. There will always be an altar to the book. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
to anything,
anything that we know.
anything. But then when something is the only thing that always have that has always had an ultimate kind of truth to it is science.
Yeah.
This is why people that if again some of the things that you said, like it's atheism, it's rubbish, because most people that are atheists believe in science. That means science is their religion.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because they've never been to space before.
Again, the other aspect of it is, even if you don't believe in anything, you believe in yourself. Because there is. I was about to say that. Let me actually go through some sort of the kind of modern belief system whereby if a lot of people believe in something, it tends to happen. Whether that
like law of attraction.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
example.
But then again, if a lot of people believe in something,
Yes.
it becomes true.
Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying.
Because
Yeah.
you've changed. This is what PR companies do.
Yeah.
You've changed the narrative.
Yeah.
What used to be non-true becomes truth.
Like how the media conditions the mind of the masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there are a lot of people, even if it's a little speck of
Lie.
that you can add to it, you can mold it, you can change narrative. If more people believe it, it's a lie. It's not factually okay, but more people believe it, more people actually give it that power.
Yeah.
This is why someone will say, "Oh, there is no God."
Yeah.
But then again, most people believe there is God. So there is God, because most people believe there is God. In this reality, there has to be a God. We don't know whether it's the Christian God or the Muslim God or the Hindu or the Buddha, but there is God. And it could be that God is actually the universal consciousness of a lot of people.
Yeah.
That the idea of God is the universal
That's what
consciousness
makes him all seeing, because
that's
he's seeing through your eyes, seeing through my eyes.
exactly. Universal that's what makes him to be omnipresent.
Yeah.
Because we are all in our different conurbations.
Yeah.
And so that would for me, again, you say that would for me answer a lot of questions.
Yeah.
More of
Yeah.
than the control thing, because then I can easily wrap my head around, okay, I can change the narrative of a group of people. I can speak to them and they can actually believe this thing, and that thing will become real.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then it will answer it will
Is that not how we have like these small cults and all these small? That's how we have cults.
Yeah, and then I can make I can tell command the waves, the storm to stop. Because I have faith as little as mustard seed. But then that's also because I have a lot of people that believe that I have faith as little as mustard seed, and their faith is shoring up mine. Now, those things it's quite spiritual now.
It's
very spiritual now, but it's something I can wrap my head around, because that's what I have actually seen happening.
And it's not
it doesn't
far-fetched.
need to be It doesn't need to be from the Bible. My point is, it doesn't need to be from the Bible or from the Quran for you to actually understand this thing. It's actually a kind of some sort of common sense. Like if you look at
it's
people,
not common sense.
it is common sense. I mean, common sense is
what
not common.
What we're talking about,
common sense.
What we're talking about does not make sense.
Common sense is not common.
Yeah, but does not make sense. The reason why I said it's not common sense is because what we are actually talking about does not make sense. And when I say it doesn't make sense, is because logically we can't prove what you're saying.
No, you can. You can. I'm not even. You're looking at miracle. I'm not even looking at. I'm looking at the very simplest things here.
No. I'm
like
just saying,
from political propaganda.
Yeah.
You know, from people that. I mean, were there not people that actually were supporting Hitler when he was killing 6 million Jews?
Yeah.
You know, it's a miraculous act to actually get away with that for so many years.
Yeah.
To kill as much number of people as that, and nobody actually picked up the distant and punching because they believe so much in him. It's a belief system.
Yeah.
So you don't need. That's why I said it's common.
Yeah.
It's a common sense thing. Like I could today, you know, charismatic, use some sort of charisma.
To influence a lot of people.
Yeah, to influence a lot of people and then put them into action. And then human action will come in and then that becomes a reality.
Yeah.
Like right now, when you talk about the Second World War, you talk about Hitler, you talk about killing Jews, and it's actually something that happened. Do you think that he woke up and wanted to go on a murderous run to kill 6 million? Probably not. But there were people that were working with him, that believed so much so in him that they would kill for him.
And why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, if this is what we are, if this is the path we're already creating, we might as well just
that is the same thing. That is what has been going on.
Yeah.
Like in everything. This is why I say it's common.
Yeah.
Because it happens. It doesn't need to be Hitler with 6 million.
Yeah.
It could be just us believing that when the sun is out, we must have a barbecue.
Yeah.
And everybody believes it. when the sun is out, we must eat red meat.
Yeah.
And everybody believes that. We start acting on it. It becomes some sort of something that happens. And then when whatever happens, the sun is out and we're not having a barbecue, you get depressed.
Yeah.
Because what the F?
Yeah.
Why is this reality changing?
Yeah.
This reality that you've conditioned yourself, why is it changing on you?
Yeah.
So I think, that kind of mentality, if you kind of have an understanding of that, you'll be able to see we've gone so far away from what we talk about war.
We're supposed to talk about war. We started with war and then
because we went from war to David.
Yeah.
And then from David into the Bible.
Yeah.
Because I believe that David shouldn't have gotten away with what he got away with.
Yeah.
And for God to even open God's mouth and say that that's a man after my own heart.
Yes.
That he's been forgiven for writing the book of Psalm.
Yeah.
But whereas he ended someone's life just like that. I'm not even talking about the wars that he went to that God instructed him to go to.
Yes.
I said instructed in quotes. Yeah. That God instructed him to go to IKEA. I'm talking about the story that we know.
Yeah.
So this has been a long conversation about the Bible, and we've not talked about anything about Bitcoin. I hope our audience doesn't, I hope they don't run away.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I mean, what we do is we have a conversation, and oftentimes you even know within our episodes that sometimes we have a specific topics in mind that we want to talk about, but then because it's so conversational, we detract. Because somebody will mention one word, someone will mention one word, and that will trigger some. Oh my God, I watched this, or I heard this, and then we'll talk about what we heard, or I'll speak about what I've heard, and then he'll be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, but if he said this, and just by that, we've actually moved away from the topic, So we usually this is what happens, every now and then these kind of things happen. The whole idea was to talk about war, but because it's so conversational. We are very free. When we talk, we are quite free in our talking.
I think war is a very deep topic because why we wanted to talk about it was we are looking at the Iron Mountain report from 1967. So this was supposed to be the part two of that particular conversation, and how they kind of in that report they kind of put war on a pedestal as a solution to every problem that we have, basically.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to talk about that, and then you mentioned about war being
one of the reasons why men go to war.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Actually, coming back, I agree with the fact that men we've been going to war because of women.
Women.
We've been going to war because of women. We've been going to, apart from the idea of taking care of the people that you love.
Yeah.
It could be it could be your mistress.
Yeah.
It could be mistresses.
Yeah.
It
Or
could
concubines.
it could be concubine. It could be side chicks. It could be your only wife. That you actually love. But it's the whole push. The whole enthusiasm towards war is about it's a mental is a kind of thinking of from the point of lack.
Yeah.
You
How can
like
we
this
better-
thing.
It's like a chain of effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically, you go to war, amass wealth, but the wealth is generally to make your loved ones happier.
Happier.
In a way.
You want to see the smile on your
your
girlfriend's face when you give her a diamond necklace.
Yes.
That
that
smile
you robbed from somebody else.
from
You
somebody
pillaged.
else. You understand?
Yeah.
You want to see that smile. You want
Yes.
to and the
So is
people
it
the
wrong
people that
or
control
right?
this world knows that.
Yeah.
They know that. That's why they create that's why they create this kind of subservient
Yeah.
dependency kind of society so that they can just give you crumbs on the table. You
Yeah.
understand? And by giving you those crumbs,
You're always lacking.
Yeah?
By giving you the crumbs, you're always lacking.
Yeah, you're always lacking, but you'll be just satisfied enough
Yeah.
to not actually shout too much
or rebel.
Or rebel.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Just satisfied enough to not rebel.
Make chicken cheap.
Yeah.
Like Russia, for example, every man must eat.
Mm-hmm.
The right to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So they said a hungry man is an angry man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard that said
Yeah,
before?
an angry man is a dangerous man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, make sure their belly is full, and then they'll keep quiet.
Yeah. The same thing happens everywhere. It's just more of advanced society will make you believe that it never happened in the society that just higher humans is a lie. It's a big fat lie. It's something that is still playing out today in a more advanced manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people always believe that having going back to wars and actually when you were talking about war, I was still thinking about TTIP, which is the transatlantic trade agreement. People always believe that having more jobs is a good thing, and maybe for most part, yes, it has its benefits, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe that having more, because what kind of jobs are we talking about? Do you know what I mean? And this is me actually moving away from our subject, but it's just a chain of thought that just came to my mind whilst he was talking, because I'm always thinking about the masses. The reason why we push you guys to say buy Bitcoins is because we have you in mind, I have nothing against the rich because I'm a rich person and I want everybody to be wealthy and I want everybody to be rich. But then I'm always looking out for people being wealthy enough or having wealth so that they can determine the kind of lifestyle they want, rather than having major corporate, having shadow kingmakers determine the kind of lifestyle you need to live to be satisfied.
That's slavery.
Slavery.
It's modern day slavery.
It's all, to me, it's all about freedom. And when I look at it, the only thing that I actually see that can give you freedom right now is Bitcoin.
Because that's the one thing that you can own outright.
That's it. That's the one thing that you can actually say, okay, this is absolutely mine. Nobody can take that away from me.
I think let me just read out this excerpt from the Iron Mountain. They say, war fills certain functions essential to the stability of our society. Until other ways of filling them are developed, the war system must be maintained and improved in effectiveness.
Yep.
So when you read a report where something like this is stated as a matter of fact, kind of an outlandish kind of not outlandish, more of just it's something that should be considered.
It's part of our society.
Yeah, and then you look at what's happening, then it makes you to wonder whether all of these things, the Iraqi war, all of this is happening is just something that's been already pre-planned.
Yeah.
To actually happen because they have a purpose.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say something like,
they do have a purpose.
Yeah, he goes on to say something like, controversial anti-missile missiles and fallout shelter programs are understood to have the spending of vast sums of money, not the advancement of science or national defense as their principal goals, and to learn that military drafts policies are only remotely concerned with defense.
Yeah.
Do you understand that statement?
Not
So all
fully
these,
explained.
basically what they're trying to say is that all these, the government is going to spend this amount of money on defense.
Yeah.
That will go for, that will build this new, I don't know, radar system,
Yeah.
something aircraft that
Yeah.
would, I don't know, blast through or this defense or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just saying that the vast amount of money, which are billions,
Oh yeah.
billions of government contracts that
Yeah.
goes into this. They said it's not for the advancement of science or national defense.
Yeah.
No, it is not. Their principal goals and to learn that military draft policies are only remotely. So drafting people into this thing, into the military,
Yeah.
is not even for national defense.
Yeah.
They're not concerned about these
Yeah.
things. It's actually to just keep that war system that they say
Going on.
that has to be maintained and improving if it's effective, to keep it going, and then also using it to, because it's linked to money.
Yeah.
It's linked to money. The reason why these
Absolutely.
things are always happening is because of the kind of monetary system that
absolutely.
we are in. So they can
Absolutely.
easily go and print,
Absolutely.
and then say, okay, this is the next thing that we want to do. So there are so many excerpts from this report that are interesting.
Apart from even printing, that's what I'm saying, that look, every war has a purpose. What was it? I always talk about Iraq, because Iraq, I feel like that was one war that the Americans actually lost in a way, because
They lost almost all the modern wars.
They lost almost all
even
the wars.
Vietnam War, I think they lost that war too.
Yeah, they lost that war. Vietnam Wars, they lost it. So it's like one of the main reasons why they were in Iraq had nothing to do with nuclear, had nothing to do with even Saddam Hussein, has nothing to do with anything, but they had an objective of actually owning oil. Do you know what I mean?
Because of oil, yeah.
Because of oil. So the only way they could do that is by creating a propaganda.
Which makes me to wonder
Yes.
whether the whole Osama bin Laden thing,
Yeah, but
whether if it was not just a tool that was used,
that's what I'm saying.
and when his time was up, they decided that they've caught him. Like, how can you tell me that the United States for so many years with all their advanced technology couldn't catch Osama bin Laden?
That's one. But then secondly as well, okay, where did we get this whole let's chase Osama bin Laden from? When we had the World Trade Center, 9/11. That's when we actually started with
That's
this
what I'm
whole
saying.
thing.
The word of Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden has been existing, and he even was trained in the US.
He was trained by the CIA. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. The Taliban group was actually trained by the CIA. So it's like when you look at it,
Osama bin Laden is the leader of Al Qaeda, not Taliban.
Al Qaeda. Oh yeah, sorry. So,
but I think even Al Qaeda probably trained by the CIA. If we check,
Osama bin Laden, I know definitely was trained by the CIA.
Yeah, I know he studied in the US. I know he was in the US for some time.
He was trained by the CIA. So when you look at some of the things that took place, for example, how the building collapsed and everything, there are researchers that are saying that it could have never been just that plane that hit at the top, that made it collapse, because it didn't collapse this way. It collapsed as if the blue
as if there was a dynamite
at the bottom,
and then it sunk into
itself.
Yeah, I'm not scientific enough to understand whether that's right or wrong. Well.
Yeah, but they said that the CIA are also part of this. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's always, you need to ask yourself, okay, what are we? It's almost like a magician. Yeah, they make you see things, right?
The more you see, the less you know.
Exactly, they will make you see, but you will never know how they made it happen, and why they made it happen. And that's what we have. That's what we're having. Okay, we know that the Trade Center will collapse, but what do we know about the hidden agendas that were there to start with? Was it just a terrorist attack, or was there more to it than that? Do you know what I'm trying to say? But then, who's to say? I always say that, look, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Do you know what I mean?
True.
We call him terrorist because he...
Let me give you another thing, but that's going back to religion.
Go for it.
What if
we'll go into another one hour?
No, we won't. Okay. We're going to end this thing here and probably have like part 3. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't even think we are going to call this episode the war thing, because it's more of a different type of conversation than But what if Osama bin Laden, being in cahoots with the US and everything, that was actually has always been the plan. And then he, knowing that if he shroud his belief system with religion, which is something that everybody has been gullible to, that is going to be more effective. So he's now created a kind of system whereby the people that believe in Al Qaeda, the people that are Osama bin Laden's followers, they predominantly are Muslims,
Yeah.
and then they think that okay,
So let me open one part of the Quran for them that talks about jihad.
yeah,
and
because
all that kind of things.
because imagine, I mean, the way to even look at this is this possible under Christianity? It is.
It has been done. The Ku Klux Klan is a Christian sect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
so is
Yeah,
this
it's a
possible?
Christian sect.
Is this possible under Christianity? So I, I wouldn't be wrong to think, based on everything that has been happening and how everything that all of the ills
They're all connected.
They're all connected. I wouldn't be wrong to think that maybe the whole Osama bin Laden thing, maybe the time that he was killed. What if he was not even dead? There's nothing, because there's nothing impossible on earth.
They said they threw the body into the sea.
Yeah. Okay. What if he's actually dead? But then that was actually the whole plan, anyways.
Yeah.
That at this time, you're gonna go.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah, it's part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we're going to end this thing here. It's becoming too long. So thank you guys for listening. And our studio is hot because of the weather.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's unbearable. My iPad is sweaty, man. So, guys, thank you for listening. Mackenzie, any last words?
Yeah. Peace. Peace.
Bye,
peace.
guys.